start? Jesus. I'm Brendan. This is going to be my YouTube channel. We're going to be doing loads of different things on it, from gym training, strength conditioning, football related training, bits about my life, just everything, to be fair. So this is going to be the first little video just about me, how I got into fitness, what my passions are, just my career in general, to be fair. Bit about me: I'm 22, I live just outside Newcastle. I've been into fitness for probably, well, since about 16, probably when I started the gym sort of thing. But I've been playing, well, I played football since I was about 10 or 11 years old. So I was a goalkeeper. I started off, played for my local boys club in Hayden Bridge. Done alright. Well, I was a bit crap outfield, so I got stuck in goal one day. Was half decent, ended up having a good year there, and then I ended up signing for Newcastle United Academy when I was 10. And then I was pretty much there for 11 years and left at 22. So I loved my time there. So many great memories, met some great people. But that was kind of what sparked my passion. Was I had a lot of injuries when I was there. So I had a lot of knee injuries, back injuries, groin injuries. So I ended up having about 4 surgeries the last few years of my career. So I ended up spending a lot of time in the gym environment with physios, with strength conditioning coaches, and obviously other lads who are injured. I just kind of developed a passion for fitness through that. Just started researching more things about the gym, watching videos, watching other likes of YouTube. So back in the day it was like Mike Rashid, Steve Cook, Christian Guzman, all the kind of original fitness YouTubers. I started watching their videos, Jeff Side, all them sort of thing, and then loved it, fell in love with the gym. So like I said, my last few years when I was at Newcastle, when I was about 19 to 21, I was pretty much injured for a full 2 years pretty much, and that was when I really started my passion. So when I was injured, I'd done my level 3 personal training qualification, and started doing little bits just with my mates, like programming, little bits of training. Left Newcastle, trialled a few different places, had another injury, ended up signing for a part-time team. Wasn't really enjoying it, had a few injuries there as well, stopped playing football, and then I ended up moving to Scotland the January after, so that literally a year ago today kind of thing. Moved to Scotland to try and finally pursue my football career full time. For the one last time, I said to myself, this is going to be my last time. Last kind of put 100% into it and see what happens. Signed for a team called Morton just outside Glasgow. Was there from January to August, so kind of first season went okay. Manager liked me, just playing reserves. Had a little ankle injury, so I was out for a few weeks with that. Came back, played a few games in the season. We broke up for summer. I came back in, we had a new manager. Pretty much came in, first week of pre-season was just running. We just got absolutely blasted with running, and I'm not the best at running. Like, through my injuries and stuff, I've never really done run, so that wasn't great. And then second week of pre-season, about 2 days before our first pre-season game, I ended up pretty much rolling my ankle in a training session. Just over, like, it was nothing, literally just ball passed into me. Went to take a touch, went over my ankle, felt a pop all the way up the side of my leg. And pretty much I'd done all my lateral ligaments in my ankle, my peroneal tendon, which is a tendon down the side as well, and a bit of my calf. I pretty much ruined my ankle. So that was kind of... Someone's screwing upstairs, I don't even know what the hell's happening. Anyhow, so yeah, pretty much the club kind of just said to me, look, you've got your injury kind of thing, like, pretty much that was it with me in terms of my football up there. So I ended up leaving the team. I had my surgery up in Glasgow. I had that done about 2 or 3 weeks after, about 6 weeks after my injury. I got my surgery up there. I had to live up there as well, so me and my girlfriend, she moved up there as well. So we were both living up there. She was working crazy hours because obviously I couldn't work. I wasn't getting any money, and I just obviously had my money from Morton. But they paid for my operation, and that was my kind of salary. That was it, kind of done. My contract was done. So I was up there for about 2 months. Then we ended up moving back home, just outside of Newcastle. And then I said to myself, I'm gonna have to pursue my personal training, my passion for fitness. So I started putting out a lot more content on Instagram. I put my Instagram below if you want to check it out. Started putting a lot more content out, especially when I was injured, and all I was doing all day was literally just getting up, doing my rehab, coming back home, eating, going back to the gym, doing a strength session, like an upper body session or something at the time. I couldn't really do any legs. Started doing that. Putting content out, trying to put like 5, 6, 7 posts a week if I can. Just keeping putting posts out, and then, like I said, moved back here, continued that, and then I put my application in for a few personal training jobs, just at literally any gyms that I could find, pure gyms, gym groups, just everything, just see what was out there. Ended up getting a job at Nuffield, so I went for an interview, done well in the interview, got the job, so I'm currently working at Nuffield in Gossip. Loving it so far. First personal training job, so just getting used to it, meeting everybody, everyone's dead friendly there, loving it there. Trying to pick up a few clients, and then obviously I want to try and pursue my own sort of brand in itself. So Brendan Pearson Fitness, just trying to grow my brand, hence why I'm starting a YouTube. So I just want to put out content because I love doing it, kind of thing. It's not really a hassle for me, it's like a hobby. So I'll be trying to put a lot more content out, especially on YouTube. I'm posting daily on Instagram, trying to put as much on as possible. And now my ankle's pretty much about 80%, 90% there. So I'll hopefully be starting football just part-time within the next month or two. See where it kind of takes me. Kind of my main focus is my fitness career, my personal training career. Just want to build my brand and everything, but football's going to be always there. Like, I've played it for all my life, I'm always going to have that little passion for it. I just want to re-spark that passion and start enjoying it again. If I'm not enjoying it, then obviously I've got my fitness passion to continue pursuing. So yeah, so we'll try and put some football videos out if people would like to see stuff like that. So strength conditioning. I'm a goalkeeper. I haven't mentioned that yet, but I'm a goalkeeper. So I can put some goalkeeping specific training out there. I've got like quite a lot of experience. We've got a lot of good coaches through my years. So if you want to see content on goalkeeping, I've put a few posts out already on strength conditioning for goalkeepers. If anybody's out there who's interested, go and check that out. As well, yeah, I'll talk a little bit more about my kind of journey through football and the ups and downs of football, the reality of football. It's not always what it seems kind of on the TV at the top level, like people getting paid God knows how much money for like running around a football pitch. It's not all glitz and glam. I'll kind of want to uncover the truth behind the reality of football, especially injuries, long-term injuries, and there's obviously the silent depression and stuff, and there's a lot more people coming out about that. So I'll try and talk a bit more about that, because I don't think it's kind of talked enough about the truth, especially from leaving the professional game and going into the real world. It's a shock, and I know a lot of lads who I've played with who have kind of struggled with it as well. So I'll talk a lot more about that in future videos. Like I said, I don't think it's talked about enough. It's starting to get a little bit better, but the reality is it's pretty fucking shit to start with, but it does get better. So yeah, like I said, what I want to do, I just want to try and get as much content out as possible to help as many people. Like I said, it's my passion. I don't really see it as a job, even though it is my job now. It's just, I enjoy it. As much as I hate talking to the camera, it's a little bit awkward. I do enjoy putting the videos out, and I'll get stick from it off people and whatever, but it is what it is, isn't it? You've got to do it. I've been debating doing this for a long time, and I think the new year is probably a perfect chance for me to just say, fuck it, just go for it, start. So I've blabbered on for too long now, so I'll shut up and let you watch something more interesting. So I filmed my upper body workout, which I filmed today. It's going to be my last one of 2019. So I pretty much just absolutely blasted everything. So I'll do a little voiceover for it as well, and I hope you enjoy the video.
Upper body workout of the year. Kicking it off with flat barbell bench press. So starting with the bench press, so doing one heavier set between 4 to 6 reps. I've just got 90 kilograms on the bar at the minute, and I think I end up getting 5 reps on this one. So this is my first time trying a little bit of a closer grip. So normally I have my hands a little bit wider than this, but I feel like the closer grip feels a lot more comfortable, and I also want to build my triceps a little bit, as I feel on bench press, they're the thing that kind of stops me from progressing a little bit further. Especially for being a taller guy, so I'm 6'6", so my arms are pretty long, so it's always something that I need to probably work on. You probably noticed before I started my bench press that I was shuffling myself back into the bench. So what I was actually doing was creating a little bit of an arch in my lower back, squeezing my shoulder blades back and down, and also getting myself in a position where I can actually drive through my feet to create an extra little bit more power. So I've done my one heavy set between 4 and 6 reps, and then I normally do about 2 to 3 back off sets between 6 and 10 reps. Still on these days I was working very close to failure, seemed that it was right at the end of my training block, and I was going to take a few days off after anyway. So on my new training block I'll probably change how I train slightly. I'll probably add a little bit more volume but a lower intensity, so staying a little bit further away from failure, but working still quite heavy. Just because I want to try and build my bench press up and see if I can beat my 150 kilogram max, which I got probably about 2 years ago now. So next exercise, we're still working the chest. So we're going to be doing cuffed cables, seated chest flies. So I just kept this bit in just to show you how I actually set them up, just in case you were wondering, and you might want to try these out yourself at some point. So you can use these cuffs. I just got them off Amazon. I think they were only about £10. I got the idea from the likes of Callum from Muscle Mentors, and I've seen a few people like Josh Bridgman, Thomas Moore, a few other YouTubers have been using it. And honestly, I'd highly recommend them for things like cable flies like I'm doing now, lateral raises, which we'll do later in the video, and there's a few other things you can use them for. So the reason that I'd probably prefer these over using cables is you can really just isolate the chest a little bit more, so you don't have to waste any energy on grip. I know it sounds silly, but it's literally the little details that make a massive difference, and I personally like these a lot better. So these are going to be working pretty much to failure. I normally stick to between 10 and 15 reps, doing about 3 sets on these, and then I sometimes add in drop sets or a rest pause right at the end. So here's a different angle just so you can see the movement a little bit better. So normally line the cables up roughly in line with your shoulders, and really think about trying to drive the upper arm towards the shoulder, or like inside the chest. I've heard a few people say think about as if you're trying to hug like a bear or something like that, but just really exaggerate the movement and try and really squeeze at the top portion. You don't have to go as far in as, say, touching the knuckles, because the chest doesn't really do anything once you get past kind of in line with your shoulder. Just the final point in these is to make sure that you are pushing pretty close to failure, just so you're getting the most out of the exercise with it only being an isolation movement. So that's our 2 chest movements done, and now we're moving on to some back, starting with some pull-ups. So I normally alternate between wide grip pull-ups like I'm doing now and using the D handles or a neutral grip. So mixing up the grip variations can just focus a little bit more emphasis on different parts of the back. So a wide grip might focus a little bit more on the upper back as well as the lats, and then the neutral grip will focus primarily on the lats itself. As you can see, I'm trying to keep these as strict as possible. So keep my legs straight at the bottom, and then just literally trying to drive the elbows down and trying to get my chin at least in line with the bar. This angle shows a little bit better. So today I did 3 sets to failure. I think I managed to get 10, 9 and 8, something like that. So aiming to get 3 sets of 10 if I can. And then obviously you can add weight if you need to as well. Personally, I would always try and throw a few sets of pull-ups in anyway into my back workout, just because it's something that I'd always want to work on, and having a strong pull-up is always going to bring up your back a little bit as well. So the second back movement of the day is going to be a seated cable row using a D handle attachment. So the reason I've put the D handles on this exercise rather than just the normal cable attachment is so we can have a little bit of a wider grip, so that the arms are actually directly in line with the shoulder, so that we can get the best lat activation possible. So the first point on this is you want to think about driving the elbows back and down, not just squeezing your shoulder blades together. So the main function of that is actually arm adduction, so actually pulling the arm down towards the body. So that's why you really want to think about driving the elbow back down towards the hip and almost think about trying to wrap it around your back. So if you wanted to focus a little bit more on your upper back, you could almost bring your elbows a little bit higher and focus more on squeezing the shoulder blades together. But for this today, I was focused on a little bit more of general back development and a little bit more on the lats as well. So in terms of reps and sets, today I did 3 sets. I think the first set was between 6 and 10 reps, and then 2 lighter back off sets between 10 and 15 reps. And all these sets were to failure. So that's the back movements done for today, and now we're on to shoulders. Starting with the standing cable cuffed lateral raises. So again, using the cuffs on this exercise just as it takes any sort of gripping out of the action, meaning we can purely focus on working the lateral head of the delt. So I choose these over any dumbbell lateral raise exercise just because there's tension throughout the whole range of the motion. So if you think about in a dumbbell lateral raise, there's not a lot of tension at the bottom of the movement, and then the further that you go through the exercise, the tension actually increases. Whereas this, the tension is actually constant throughout, so the whole delt is actually going to be working. So on these today, I did 4 sets between 10 and 20 reps, working all the way to failure on every set. To finish off delts today, I did a drop set on the seated face pulls. Normally on these, I'd do about 2 to 3 sets, anywhere up to 20 reps. But today, since I was cut on time, I just finished off with a nice drop set. So 20 reps, drop the weight, and then try and get as many reps as I can straight away. So a few pointers on these: you want to try and not use too much momentum, and also think about trying to drive the elbows back and keep them at least in line with your shoulder, depending on what feels more comfortable to you. Again, like most isolation exercises, working all the way to failure. You can also finish off with a few partial reps just to burn out the rear delts. So I'll just let the rest of the clip play out with the drop set. So I finished off today's upper body workout with a superset for arms. So starting off with the cable tricep push down, working 3 sets between 10 and 15 reps. A few pointers on this: you want to make sure that your elbows are locked in the same position, so your upper arm isn't moving at all, it's just all the lower arm that's moving. So I've seen some funny techniques in the gym of people doing this exercise where their arms moving all over the place. So try and keep that arm as locked in as possible, and avoid using any sort of momentum unless you get into the last few reps of your final set and you really just want to try and push them last few extra reps out. So I'm using a slightly wider attachment for this one, just because it lines up with me and my elbow a little bit better than say using a rope. So you can sometimes get a little bit of joint pain in the elbow if you are using a narrower attachment, just because it's not natural for you. If you do get a little bit of joint pain doing this exercise, I would try throwing the D handles on this, just because it allows for a little bit more internal and external rotation inside the elbow joint. And then straight away after the tricep, we're going to be moving on to a supinated seated bicep curl, just with the dumbbells. Same thing on this exercise, 3 sets between 10 and 15 reps, working to failure. And another point, you don't have to go too heavy on these, just pick a weight where you can keep your technique perfect and try and minimise any sort of momentum on the way up, unless you are, like I said, on that last set, on the last few reps, where you just want to try and push that extra little bit more out. So I'll let the rest of the clip play out, so you enjoy watching me make bicep curls look like cardio. So to finish off the workout, I did 3 sets of abs, so just hanging leg raises, trying to bring the knee as high up as possible, thinking about curving the spine as well, so not just lifting the legs up. So when people just lift the legs up, they're actually probably just going to be working the hip flexors. So you want to think about trying to tuck your tailbone round and really tuck in the pelvis, and as well controlling the lower into the eccentric portion of the lift, which is probably when you're going to get most of your work in. Working all of these sets to failure. So this is a little something additional that I just threw in at the end of my workout, seeming that I was taking a few days off after this. So it's just a little bit of a tab light work for the chest, so really working high reps, not a lot of rest periods. Starting off with push-ups to failure, and then we'll be moving on to the cable chest fly, and then into a cable chest fly stretch, which we'll get onto in a minute. So I normally throw little things in like this at the end of a training block, or when I know that I'm going to have a few days away from the gym, or even if I'm short for time, just throw this in and just really get a good workout in, and just try and get as much blood pumped to the muscle as possible and really burn it out. So again, moving on to the chest flies, trying to work between 10 and 15 reps on everything, all the way to failure. And once we've done the 10-15 reps on the chest flies, we're just going to go into an isometric stretch to try and get as much blood into the muscle. You can actually induce hypertrophy by holding stretches under load as well. So holding this for about 15 to 30 seconds if possible.
Brendan Beers and Fitness. Don't forget to like and follow.